Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're heading over to Nigeria to learn about the story of Governor Hyacinth Alia of Benue State.
Oh, yeah.
And, you might think this is just another political deep dive, but it's really so much more.
Oh, absolutely.
It's a story of resilience
and connection.
Yeah, deep connection with the people.
The people, yeah.
So we'll be using a podcast script called Leaders of Change as our guide for today.
Interesting.
And let me tell you, this is a story you won't believe.
Okay.
Imagine being told no 7 times before finally achieving your goal.
Wow.
I mean, who keeps pushing forward after so many setbacks?
That's a great question.
What drives someone like that?
Well, what's so interesting is that Hyacinth Alia actually began his career as a reverend father.
Oh, wow.
Before going into politics.
Makes you wonder, huh?
Yeah.
What sparked that change?
Right.
What kind of leader comes from a life dedicated to service in that way?
It suggests a deep commitment to helping others.
Yeah.
But also a belief that real change can happen through government.
Yeah.
And that's not always an easy path.
No, you're telling me. The road to governorship was paved with challenges.
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking 7 rejections from members of his own party, the APC,
Right.
and the opposition party, the PDP.
The PDP, right?
It's incredible that he didn't give up.
And it wasn't just about the parties,
Yeah?
There were lawsuits filed against him,
Really?
challenging his candidacy left and right.
Oh, wow.
But he just kept pushing forward, overcoming every legal hurdle.
He must have had incredible resolve.
Yeah.
Why was there so much resistance to his candidacy, though? What were the sources of all this opposition?
Yeah, that's the question, isn't it?
Yeah, it's almost like people were actively trying to stop him.
It really does make you wonder.
He's going to be governor.
Some sources speculate that it was because he represented a change from the usual politics.
Yeah.
A disruptor, as they say.
Yeah, okay.
Others suggest that the existing power structures felt threatened by him.
Oh.
And all the support he had.
Yeah.
Yeah, the grassroots support. Yeah.
Exactly.
It sounds like the people of Benue State really believed in him.
They did.
You mentioned grassroots support earlier, and it seems that played a huge role in his eventual victory
He did.
in the 2023 election.
Absolutely.
It was a real testament to the people's will.
Absolutely. His victory can be seen as a sign that the people wanted change. They wanted a leader who was really connected to their needs and their hopes.
And he didn't waste any time making good on his promises either.
No, he didn't.
Right away, in May 2023, he started making changes to transform Benue State.
Right, when he took office.
And one of the most notable things he did early on
Yeah.
was address the issue of civil servant salaries.
A salary issue.
Yeah.
That was a big one.
Because consistent and timely payment of salaries
Right.
can have a huge impact on the economy
Absolutely. Yeah.
and on morale.
For sure.
From what I understand, under previous administrations, there were constant delays
Yeah.
in those salary payments,
Right.
causing a lot of hardship
Yeah, hardship and uncertainty.
for civil servants. So Governor Alia made it a priority to fix that.
He did. And under his leadership, salaries are now paid on the 25th of every month
Oh, wow.
without fail.
So that brought relief to the workforce
It did.
and helped to restore their confidence in the government.
Absolutely.
That's a really powerful example of how he addressed a real problem for the people.
It is.
But he didn't stop there.
No.
He also signed the 70,000 Naira minimum wage into law.
Yes, he did.
Now, this was a historic move, wasn't it?
It was a historic move.
It showed that he understood the importance of fair wages
Right.
and worker welfare in Benue State.
Absolutely. And it might even set an example for other states to follow,
Yeah.
potentially.
So by enacting this minimum wage law, Governor Alia wasn't just helping the workers in Benue State, he was challenging other states
Yeah.
to do the same.
To consider doing the same. Yeah.
It's amazing how one decision can have such a huge impact
It really is. It shows what strong leadership can do. Yeah.
and how important it is to set a good example.
Yeah. And while those moves were certainly significant,
They were.
Governor Alia's vision for Benue State went far beyond just salaries.
Right.
He also recognized the need for infrastructure development.
Yes, he did.
And this included revitalizing urban landscapes,
It did.
particularly in key towns like Katsina Ala,
Kiboko.
Ikeboko.
And Otukpo?
Otuko. Right.
Our sources tell us that he started major road rehabilitation projects in those towns.
He did. And these weren't just, quick fixes.
Yeah.
This was about improving transportation
Yeah.
and connections
Yeah.
and just making life better for the people who live there.
Makes sense. Improved infrastructure has a domino effect on a community, don't you think?
It really does.
Yeah.
These projects can bring in more business,
Oh, yeah.
attract investment, and create all sorts of opportunities for people.
Yeah.
It's all about creating a better future for Benue State.
A more sustainable future.
A more sustainable future, yes.
Yeah. And one of the most striking examples of this infrastructure push is the underpass.
The underpass.
That's almost finished in McCurdy.
Right, in McCurdy, the state capital.
The state capital.
Yes.
Now, this project is meant to ease traffic congestion.
Right.
And improve transportation throughout the city.
Exactly. And when you think about what that means for the people in McCurdy, shorter commutes, easier access to services, and just a better quality of life overall.
Yeah.
This is a real example of Governor Alia's dedication to making a difference.
It's clear that he's thinking holistically.
Yes.
Recognizing that infrastructure is about more than just roads and buildings.
More than that, yeah.
It's about connecting people, creating opportunities.
Exactly.
And building a foundation for a stronger future.
And we can't forget about Benue State's reputation as the food basket of the nation.
Oh, that's right.
Right.
We've been talking a lot about his work in urban areas.
We have.
But Benue State is an agricultural powerhouse. So what did he do to make the most of that?
Well, one of his first priorities was to give farmers the support they needed.
Okay.
Things like fertilizer and herbicides.
To help improve their crops.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Help them fight pests.
Smart move.
Yeah.
By providing these essential resources, he was directly helping the farmers become more productive.
Yes. And he went even further than that. He gave them access to loans and grants.
Oh, wow.
To help them invest in their farms.
Okay.
And adopt new technologies.
Wow.
He even worked to bring in modern machinery.
Really?
To make things more efficient.
Okay.
And to boost their output.
So he really understands the challenges that farmers face.
He does.
And he's committed to giving them the tools they need to succeed.
Yes.
This isn't just about handouts.
No.
It's about empowering them to be more successful.
And to contribute to the agricultural economy.
And this wasn't just about helping individual farmers either.
No, it wasn't.
It was about revitalizing the whole agricultural economy of Benue State.
Exactly.
His actions were designed to increase food production.
Yes.
Ensure food security.
Right.
And even create a surplus for trade and export.
Potentially, yes.
It's all connected, isn't it?
It is.
By supporting the farmers, he's also investing in the future of Benue State.
He is.
And its people. It's a win-win.
It really is. It's a great example of how the right kind of investment can help an entire region.
So Governor Alia's focus on agriculture makes perfect sense.
It does.
But what's interesting is that he didn't stop there.
Right.
He also recognized the importance of industrial growth for the long-term prosperity of the state.
Yeah, for the long term.
So he supported the building of a refinery by the Benue Investment and Property Company in McCurdy.
That's right, a significant investment in the state's industrial capacity.
And he didn't stop there either, did he?
No, he didn't. He also encouraged the creation of cottage industries.
Okay.
You know, smaller businesses.
Yeah.
Because he saw their potential to create jobs and help the local economy.
It's fascinating how he's approaching economic development from so many different angles.
Yeah.
Supporting large industries like that refinery.
Right.
But also encouraging the growth of smaller, locally owned businesses.
It's a smart strategy, you know?
Yeah.
By supporting both big and small industries, he's trying to create a more diverse economy.
Okay.
And that can help reduce reliance on just one sector.
Yeah.
Create more jobs.
Right.
And make the state more resilient.
Yeah, more adaptable.
More adaptable, yeah.
To economic change.
These economic changes, exactly.
It's a multi-pronged approach to economic development.
It is.
Recognizing that sustainable growth requires strategic investment.
Right.
And local initiatives.
And of course, economic development is just part of the story.
Yeah.
Governor Alia also made big strides in improving healthcare and transportation in Benue State.
These are essential foundations for a thriving society.
They are.
So his efforts to revitalize primary healthcare services, improve the Benue State University Teaching Hospital, and bring back Benue Links for safer, more affordable travel.
Right.
Were all aimed at meeting the basic needs of the people.
They were.
These are the kind of things that make a real difference in people's lives.
They do.
Imagine being able to access good healthcare more easily, or having a reliable and affordable way to get around.
It can make all the difference.
Yeah, these things can make a world of difference.
By focusing on these fundamental areas, Governor Alia showed that he understood what really matters to the people of Benue State.
It's about creating a society where everyone has the chance to thrive.
Exactly.
So it's clear that Governor Alia has been incredibly active since taking office.
He has.
Putting into action a wide range of initiatives to transform Benue State.
To transform Benue State, yeah.
But of course, no leadership journey is without its complexities.
Right.
And one aspect that really stands out is his relationship with Senator George Akume,
yes,
the secretary to the government of the Federation.
That's right. Now, Senator Akume was key in Alia's rise to power.
He was.
Which has led to a lot of speculation about their relationship.
There has been a lot of speculation.
Some sources even suggest that Akume might have tried to control Alia's administration.
Right, to exert some influence.
Is this what's called godfatherism in Nigerian politics?
It is. Godfatherism is often used to describe a system where these powerful political figures, the godfathers, they support and sponsor younger politicians.
Right.
In exchange for loyalty and influence.
So it's a system of favors and power.
Yeah, you could say that.
That can sometimes overshadow real democracy.
It can.
So does that mean that Governor Alia might be under Senator Akume's control?
Well, that's what a lot of people are wondering.
Yeah.
But it's important to understand the politics of Benue State.
Okay.
This traditional godfatherism doesn't really apply in Benue.
Oh, okay.
The sources suggest that.
So even with Senator Akume's support,
Governor Alia might not be obligated to follow his lead.
Exactly.
That's interesting.
Yeah, the political scene in Benue State seems to favor independent leadership.
Okay.
With a strong focus on serving the people.
Yeah.
Rather than being beholden to one person.
So how do we reconcile this idea of potential godfatherism with Governor Alia's independent actions?
Well, that's where it gets really interesting.
Yeah.
It's possible that Governor Alia, while recognizing Senator Akume's help in the past, is determined to lead in his own way.
Okay.
Putting the needs of Benue State first.
Yeah.
Above any personal obligations.
So the relationship between them might look complicated from the outside.
It might.
But the reality could be very different.
Much more nuanced.
Yeah, it's a delicate balance between recognizing past favors and forging an independent path.
And that's what makes this deep dive so fascinating.
Yeah.
We're getting into the details of political relationships, power dynamics, and that balance between loyalty and independent leadership.
It's clear that Governor Alia's journey to leadership has been anything but straightforward.
It has been quite a journey.
But maybe it's this complexity, this ability to deal with tough situations that has made him the leader he is today.
That's a great point. Adversity often makes people stronger and gives them a deeper understanding of the challenges people face.
And speaking of connecting with people,
we
can't forget about his thank you tour across Benue State after the election.
The thank you tour.
Yeah, the turnout was huge.
It was massive.
People from all walks of life came out to celebrate his victory.
They did.
What do you make of that?
Well, that kind of support from the public is really important.
Yeah.
It shows that people believe in him and trust his vision for the state.
Yeah.
They were genuinely excited about his leadership and what it could mean for them.
It's one thing to win an election.
It is.
But it's another to have that level of genuine enthusiasm from the people you represent.
It really is.
It seems like Governor Alia has really won them over.
He has, and it's not just about the numbers either.
No.
The sources we've looked at say that people are comparing him to Aparaku.
Oh, wow.
A former governor of Benue State.
Yeah.
Who was known for his amazing leadership.
Wow, that's quite a comparison.
It is.
Aparaku is remembered for his dedication to Benue State.
He is.
For his work to make life better for its people.
Exactly.
To be compared to someone like that says a lot about the kind of legacy Governor Alia is building.
It really does. It suggests that his actions are having a deep impact on people.
Yeah.
They see him as a leader who is truly working to make things better.
To create a brighter future for Benue State.
Exactly.
So to sum it up, Governor Alia's journey has been marked by incredible resilience.
It has.
A strong bond with the people.
Yes.
And a commitment to action.
Definitely.
He faced so many rejections, legal challenges, and political complexities.
He did.
Yet he persevered.
And he came out on top.
And he became governor.
He did.
And he didn't stop there. No.
Right away, he started putting policies and initiatives in place.
Yeah.
To transform Benue State.
To transform Benue State, yes.
From addressing salary issues to investing in infrastructure, revitalizing agriculture, and promoting industrial growth.
Right.
He has shown a comprehensive vision for the future.
A comprehensive vision, yes.
It's clear that he isn't afraid to tackle difficult problems.
No, he isn't.
And he's driven by a genuine desire to improve people's lives.
It seems that way.
But as with any leadership journey, there are always complexities and nuances to consider.
Always.
His relationship with Senator Akume.
Right.
The dynamics of godfatherism in Benue politics.
Yes.
And the challenge of balancing loyalty with independent leadership.
It's a balancing act.
Add another layer to this story.
They do. They make it even more interesting.
Yeah, it's fascinating.
It is.
Well, that wraps up part 1 of our deep dive into the incredible story of Governor Alia.
It does.
We've covered a lot of ground from his early life and career.
His journey to governorship.
His journey, yes.
And his first actions in office.
His early actions.
We've also touched on the complex political dynamics.
We have.
And the legacy he's trying to build.
It's been quite an exploration so far.
It has been a fascinating exploration.
But we're just getting started.
But we're only just getting started.
In part 2, we'll dive even deeper into Governor Alia's leadership.
Oh, yeah.
We'll take a closer look at his policies, the challenges he's faced, and the impact he's had on the people of Benue State.
Stay tuned for part 2,
C2,
where we'll unpack even more of this story.
We will.
And gain further insights into the journey of Governor Alia.
The remarkable journey of Governor Alia. Welcome back to our deep dive into the story of Governor Alia. You know, in part 1, we talked about his work in infrastructure and agriculture.
Yeah.
But his commitment to the people of Benue State goes way beyond those areas.
That's right. We were just scratching the surface.
Yeah.
So where should we dive in next?
Well, one area that really stood out to me was healthcare.
Okay.
You see, for years, the healthcare system in Benue State had been struggling.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there were problems with funding.
Okay.
Not enough staff, and limited access to quality care, especially in rural areas.
That's a real challenge. It's hard to imagine a community thriving without a strong healthcare system.
Right.
So what did Governor Alia do to address these issues?
Well, one of his first moves was to revitalize primary healthcare centers across the state.
Okay.
This involved upgrading facilities, providing essential equipment, and recruiting more healthcare professionals.
So he focused on strengthening the foundation of the healthcare system,
Yeah.
making it more accessible to people in their communities.
Exactly.
It's a practical approach, isn't it?
It is.
Instead of just focusing on big hospitals in the cities, he recognized the importance of providing quality care at the local level.
He did. He understood that for many people in Benue State, especially in rural areas, those primary healthcare centers are their only option for healthcare.
Yeah.
So by making those centers stronger, he was making healthcare more accessible for everyone.
That's an important point. It's about making sure that everyone, regardless of where they live, has the opportunity to get basic healthcare services.
Absolutely.
But what about more specialized care?
Right.
Did Governor Alia address the needs of bigger hospitals as well?
He did, in addition to that primary healthcare initiative.
Okay.
He also focused on improving the Benue State University Teaching Hospital, which is the main referral hospital for the whole state.
Now, teaching hospitals often face unique challenges.
They do.
They have to provide specialized care, but also train future healthcare professionals.
Exactly. It's a lot to juggle.
Yeah, it must have been a big task to address all of those needs.
It was. But Governor Alia knew how crucial that teaching hospital was to the healthcare system in Benue State.
Yeah.
So he gave them a lot of resources
to
upgrade facilities, buy new equipment, and attract specialized medical staff.
So it was a two-pronged approach to improving healthcare.
Yeah.
Strengthening the foundation with the primary healthcare centers, but also investing in the specialized capabilities of the teaching hospital.
That's a great way to put it, by tackling both ends of the spectrum. Governor Alia was making the whole healthcare system stronger and more resilient.
And we can't forget about transportation.
Oh yes, transportation.
We touched on it briefly in part 1.
We did.
But I'd love to hear more about how Governor Alia tackled this crucial area.
It's so important, isn't it?
Yeah, a reliable and affordable transportation system is essential for any state to function.
Absolutely. It affects everything from the economy to education to healthcare.
So how did Governor Alia approach this challenge?
Well, he knew that many people in Benue State depend on public transportation.
Okay.
And he wanted to make it safer and easier for them to get around.
Yeah.
So he revived Benue Links,
the
state-owned transport company.
I remember reading about that. Wasn't it known for providing affordable transportation?
Yes, especially for people traveling between rural areas and the bigger towns.
Bringing back Benulinks was a smart move.
It was.
It showed that he was committed to helping ordinary people.
Absolutely.
And ensuring that they had a safe and affordable way to travel.
And think about the impact that had on people's lives.
Yeah.
It made it easier for them to get around.
Right.
It probably saved them money.
Right.
Which they could then use for other things.
These are the kinds of initiatives that really make a difference.
They show that Governor Alia is focused on the things that really matter to people.
It's clear he has a big vision for Benue State.
He does.
One that includes not just economic development,
right,
but also the well-being of its people.
He understands that real progress is about more than just numbers.
Yeah.
It's about creating a society where everyone has the chance to live a good life.
You know what's amazing is that he's accomplished so much in such a short time.
It is remarkable.
He's only been in office for a little over a year.
Right.
But he's already made significant strides in so many areas.
It speaks to his dedication and energy.
Yeah, he's not wasting any time.
No, he isn't.
He's tackling challenges head on, finding creative solutions.
And giving people hope.
When I started researching Governor Alia for this deep dive, I was struck by how ambitious his plans are.
He's not just looking for small changes.
No.
He wants to completely transform Benue State.
Well, what's even more impressive is that he's backing up his words with action.
Absolutely.
We've seen real examples of his commitment to healthcare, agriculture industry, and transportation.
It's inspiring to see a leader who is so in tune with the needs of his people.
It is. He seems to understand that true leadership is about serving others.
Putting their needs first.
Not about personal gain or playing political games.
But of course, no leader's journey is without obstacles.
Right.
So what are some of the challenges Governor Alia has faced?
Well, one of the biggest challenges is a lack of resources.
Resources are always an issue.
Benue State, like many states in Nigeria, has been dealing with financial constraints.
That's right.
Which means Governor Alia has had to be very creative in how he uses the state's money.
Very strategic.
So how has he dealt with this challenge?
From what I've gathered, he's being very practical.
Okay.
He's focused on projects that will have the biggest impact.
Right.
And he's looking for partnerships.
Okay.
To get more funding and expertise.
So he's not letting limited resources stop him.
Yeah.
He's finding ways to make the most of what he has.
Exactly. He's thinking outside the box.
Yeah.
Exploring new options and working with people who share his vision.
That's a great example of how good leaders find ways to overcome tough challenges.
It is.
But resources aren't the only obstacle.
No.
He's also had to deal with political dynamics.
Right.
Especially his relationship with Senator Akume.
That's right.
Which we talked about in part 1.
We did.
Now, some people think that Senator Akume's influence might limit Governor Alia's independence.
That's one perspective.
But others say that Governor Alia is managing this relationship well.
Yes.
Acknowledging Akume's past support while still asserting his own leadership.
It's a delicate balance.
It's fascinating to see how these political relationships play out, isn't it?
It is. It's like a political chess match.
With high stakes.
Very high stakes.
It reminds us that leadership is more than just having a title.
Much more.
It's about navigating challenges, building consensus, making tough decisions, and inspiring people to work together.
And even the best leaders need a good team and support system to be successful.
They do, and Governor Alia seems to understand that he's built a team of talented people.
Yes.
And he's engaging with community leaders, business owners, and everyday citizens.
He's trying to create a shared vision for the future.
So it's not just about top-down leadership. It's about empowering everyone to contribute.
When you look at the big picture, Governor Alia's story is about more than just politics. It's about the power of having a vision.
Yeah.
The importance of never giving up.
Right.
And believing in people's ability to create positive change.
And that's a message that goes beyond Benue State.
It does. It's a message that can inspire us all.
To remind us that even when things seem impossible, we can still make a difference.
That's a great point.
Well, that brings us to the end of part 2 of our deep dive.
It does.
Into the story of Governor Hyacinth Alia.
We've learned about his vision for Benue State.
Yeah.
The challenges he's encountered.
Right.
And the impact he's made on people's lives. It's been a fascinating journey so far.
But we're not done yet.
No, we're not.
In part 3, we'll look at the legacy Governor Alia is building.
We will.
The lessons we can learn from his leadership.
And the potential impact of his story on future generations.
Stay tuned for part 3.
Stay tuned.
Where we'll wrap up our deep dive.
Yes.
And leave you with some thought-provoking insights.
We will.
And a renewed sense of hope in the power of leadership.
To create a better world.
Welcome back to The Deep Dive. As we wrap up this look at Governor Hyacinth Alia's story, I'm really struck by his dedication.
Oh, yeah.
It's not every day you see a leader with such strong beliefs and who actually takes action.
I agree. It's been fascinating to see his journey, from those early setbacks to the big changes he's making now.
We've talked a lot about his actions, the policies, the initiatives.
Right.
But what I'm really curious about is the impact.
The long-term impact.
Yeah, what does all this mean for the people of Benue State in the long run? What kind of lasting legacy is he creating?
That's the key question, isn't it? It's still early in his term,
yeah,
but we can already see some potential long-term effects.
Okay.
His focus on infrastructure and agriculture isn't just about immediate results. It's about building a foundation for the future.
So he's thinking about the future.
He is.
About a Benue State that's prosperous and resilient for generations to come.
Exactly. It's about creating a solid foundation for growth.
Not just quick fixes.
No, not quick fixes.
And by supporting farmers, creating jobs, and improving healthcare and education, he's investing in the people.
He is investing in the people of Benue State.
And that's a legacy that will last.
That's a legacy that will have a lasting impact.
One thing that's really impressed me throughout this deep dive is the incredible support Governor Alia has from the people.
It's remarkable, isn't it?
We talked about the huge turnout for his thank you tour.
Yeah, the massive turnout.
But it's more than that.
It is.
There's this feeling that he's truly connected to the people he serves.
Yes, connected to the people.
And I think it comes from his authenticity.
His authenticity, yes.
His willingness to really listen to people.
Right, and his commitment to actually addressing their needs.
He's not just some distant figure in an office.
No.
He's seen as someone who genuinely cares.
And that makes a difference.
It's like he's leading with his heart as much as his head.
It's a powerful combination.
It really is a powerful combination.
Yeah, it's that blend of empathy and action that makes him so effective.
But let's be realistic. No leader is perfect.
That's true.
I'm sure Governor Alia has faced some criticism too.
Of course.
What are some of the concerns people have raised about his leadership?
Well, some people say that his plans are too ambitious.
Okay.
Especially for a state with limited resources.
Right.
They worry about whether some of these initiatives are sustainable.
Yeah. Will they really work in the long run?
Exactly. Can he deliver on his promises?
So it's about finding that balance between being ambitious and being practical.
Right.
Making sure the plans are realistic given the resources available.
It's a balancing act that all leaders face.
And only time will tell if Governor Alia's vision will lead to lasting change.
That's true.
And what about his relationship with Senator Akume?
Ah, yes, Senator Akume.
We've discussed how complex that relationship is.
It is a complex relationship.
And the possibility of godfatherism influencing his decisions.
Right.
Has that become a problem at all?
It's hard to say for certain.
Yeah.
Some people think that Governor Alia is acting independently.
Okay.
That he's not just doing what Senator Akume wants.
But others aren't so sure.
Right, they point to certain decisions
that
they think show Akume's influence.
So it's a matter of perspective?
It is.
With no clear answer on whether Senator Akume is really calling the shots?
And that's part of what makes this story so interesting.
Yeah, it's a real-life political drama.
It really is.
Playing out right in front of us.
It highlights the challenges of political relationships.
Yeah.
Balancing loyalty with independent thinking.
Right.
And staying true to your values, even when you're under pressure.
I think it also shows us that leadership is not a one-man show.
No, it's not.
It's about building relationships.
Yes.
Forming alliances.
Working together.
And working together to achieve common goals.
Even the best leaders need a strong team and support system.
And Governor Alia seems to understand that.
He surrounded himself with capable people.
Yeah.
And he's actively engaging with the community.
Business leaders, everyday citizens, trying to build a shared vision for Benue State.
It's about making sure everyone feels invested
in
the success of the state.
So it's not just about leadership from the top down.
No, it's about empowering everyone to contribute.
As we think about Governor Alia's journey, it's clear that his leadership style embodies some important principles. Principles that go beyond just Benue State.
Absolutely.
What are some of those principles that stand out to you? What can we learn from his story?
Well, first of all, his story shows us the importance of perseverance.
Never giving up.
Right. He faced so many obstacles.
Yeah.
But he never gave up on his vision.
Yeah, he kept pushing forward. He believed in himself.
And he believed in his ability to make a difference.
It's a reminder that success doesn't come easy.
It rarely does.
It takes hard work, determination,
and a willingness to overcome obstacles.
Another important lesson is the power of authenticity and connection.
Right. Governor Alia's ability to connect with people,
yeah,
to understand their needs and their hopes, has been essential to his success.
He's not just a politician, he's a leader who truly cares about the people he serves.
He's a leader who listens.
It's a good reminder that good leadership isn't about being charismatic or giving speeches.
It's not about the show.
It's about building trust.
Yes.
Building relationships.
Showing that you care.
And showing that you truly care about helping others.
And finally, Governor Alia's story emphasizes the importance of action.
Taking action, yeah.
He's not just talking about change. He's making it happen.
Putting things into motion.
He's implementing policies, launching programs, making real progress.
It's a call to action for all of us.
It is.
A reminder that we can't just wait for things to change.
We have to be part of the change.
We have to be active in shaping the world we want to live in.
Well said.
It's been amazing exploring Governor Alia's story with you.
It has been a fascinating journey.
It's a story full of challenges, triumphs, complexities, and above all, hope.
It is a story of hope.
And I think it can inspire all of us.
I agree.
To believe in the power of positive change, to embrace the challenges of leadership,
and to try to make a real difference in the world. It's been a pleasure sharing this deep dive with you.
And with you. Remember, knowledge is most powerful when we understand it and use it.
Absolutely.
So if anything we've talked about today resonated with you, I encourage you to explore more.
Keep learning.
Dig deeper and see what other insights you can uncover. Until next time, keep diving.